cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
You ever drunk Baileys from a shoe?
Oh, great. Thanks, Mother, for replacing the baby aspirin with LSD.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountain?
All right, welcome back to the View from C-Deck. It's the bye week is upon us here in Buckeye Nation, but before we get to that, we had a big performance last weekend in Spartyville in East Lansing against the Michigan State Spartans. Buckeyes win 49-20. Easy cover for them, easy over. I went 2-0 on those this week, so 7-4-1 going into the break for me. The over-unders, I think I've been a little bit better on. I'm not even sure as tricky as they've been, but that one seemed a little easy and actually was really close on both. Vegas has nailed us the last 2 weeks, to be honest. Nailed our game. But great performance from C.J. Stroud, minus one throw, which was a miscommunication between he and Egbuka. 6 more touchdowns, though. Sixth touchdown game of his career, which is a Big Ten record already. The superlatives go off the map. He's already the Heisman, now the clear front runner in the Heisman race, according to Vegas. I don't know if I agree with that yet, just because there's a lot more season to go. But Casey, what did you think Saturday watching the Bucks put another whooping down for the fifth time in 6 games really this year?
Oh yeah, I mean it was it doesn't happen a lot when you see the numbers, terrible pass defense, great pass offense, and you're expecting, well, we're going to dominate through the air, and it is exactly what happened. I was a little upset about that pick. I don't think it was Stroud's fault. I think it was more Egbuka than him, because he typically predicts what the route is supposed to be, and I don't know. My gut tells me it was Egbuka's fault, but I'm not 100% sure there. But other than that, I mean, our defense, you take that off the board because they didn't give up that touchdown. They really only gave up 1 score, and then there was another, second string touchdown given up almost every single game, it seems like. So really, I mean, our defense played great. I mean, even Burke, I thought, had a pretty good game, but then, of course, his counterpart stunk it up like he has been stinking it up.
Cam Brown had a rough outing. Yeah, I think Burke didn't get thrown at much. It wasn't too much for him to screw up.
I just never remembered cursing his name, so that's a good thing.
So there's no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
A segment I wanted to start now for us, but I will get to it later. What are you doing of the week?
Yeah.
But this week, I mean, you weren't saying that too much. That pick was probably the moment, although I'll pick a different moment later on with Cam Brown. CJ goes for 361 and 6 touchdowns. Travion gets the start. Mayan out of nowhere, kind of. They switching back and forth. But he carries 19 times for 118 yards and a touchdown, but gets injured himself. Took the helmet right off the thigh, so definitely had a little Charlie horse and probably a nice big old bruise from that. Kids, wear your damn thigh pads, at least. You should be wearing all your pads. I don't get how these guys do it. Out Hayden, though, comes in, runs 14 times for 70 yards, runs hard. I'm not worried about him getting in games. Are you? As a runner, he's fine.
No, yeah, I mean, this might be stretching it too far, but even against our biggest games in Penn State, if we're stretched then on running back and we got Hayden in there, but we still got our stud receivers, I'm not going to be worried.
Yeah. We moved a receiver for a little bit back there too, Xavier Johnson.
Yeah.
Good. Look good doing it.
They even threw some Egbuka runs. I think there was 2 of them in there.
Yeah, and I mean, Egbuka also goes 5 catches for 143 and a touch. My man, Marvin Harrison Jr., keeps making me look good. 7 catches, 131, and 3 more touchdowns. Now leading the country with 9 touchdown catches on the year, on pace to break Terry Ginn's record, as predicted here. This is the kind of content you get. Just ignore some of the stupid stuff we say.
And I think all of the receivers. I mean, Egbuka, he's not quite as good as Marvin, but he's right there, man. I mean, he's got what, 6 touchdowns? He's got more yards and more catches.
He's fourth in the country in receiving yards right now.
You got Fleming, who has literally scored a touchdown every game he's played. He's kind of the unsung hero a little bit on the receivers.
He and Ibuka both have made it the law. This is what I think everybody kind of expected, something like this from Marvin. Maybe not to this level, but close. But Ibuka's basically taken over his role, over JSN's role, and Fleming has taken over kind of the third string, number 3, more of a blocker type, but now he's catching passes like crazy too, and he looks good. You're right. I mean, if that's our 4th best receiver, well, I think Ibuka wasn't going to start this year. It's going to be Fleming. So if Ibuka's our 4th best receiver and he's 4th in the country in receiving yards, holy shit.
Yeah, and just one quick thing on the running backs. I don't know if it bugged you or if you even noticed it, but freaking McCord comes in, and I don't know what it is, but Day just like refuses to throw the damn ball when McCord comes in. But he had this zone read with TC Caffey in there, and he held it in his chest for like 3 seconds, and then took it out at the last minute and gets like sacked, like tackle for loss. Meanwhile, Caffey's up there like 6 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I'm like, give him the freaking ball, you idiot! Just I don't know why, but it bugged me.
You're not the only one that's mentioned that about McCord not getting to throw the ball. Somebody's like, does Day hate him or something? Does he want to like keep him under wraps? I don't know.
I honestly think it's his sportsmanship mentality. He doesn't want to run the score up, but I don't freaking care, man. Just throw that out. This is your quarterback next year, God damn it.
I'm not sure. I'll agree to a point that I think if he's been earned the throws, give him the throws. Don't make the kid. I mean, that's why Justin Fields left Georgia. Sorry, where he said I was just handing the ball off good as fuck. like they don't want to do that. But it's also the sportsmanship. You got to play, especially these teams in the East. You got to play them every year, so you don't want to like give them unnecessary bulletin board material for the next year. And also, like, I know he's your guy next year. You want him taking game reps, but is taking 4th quarter reps against the 2nd and 3rd string of the other team really going to, like, make McCord a better player? Probably not. I mean, no more than playing Akron last year did, and nobody was ready to see him throw the ball around after he played Akron last year, and he threw for 300 yards.
Yeah. I guess what I would like, I mean, Stroud has always been in the game longer than I want him to be in these blowouts. So if McCord could come back in a drive earlier and maybe have one drive where we actually play our regular offense, and then on, just hand it off. But I mean, he throws it like 5 times a game, and he's in there an entire quarter.
Yeah. So defensively, we get to see Mike Hall come in and in 7 snaps get 2.5 sacks.
Realize that? I read that today. Yeah. I mean, I had he was player of the game and defensively 2.5 sacks. Then I read he only played 7 snaps. How is that even possible?
Our D line rotations are amazing, and we still have yet to see a sack out of our starting defensive ends, even after a 3-sack day.
But they're getting the job done now. Whether they're getting the number, they're getting the job done.
JT gets held all the time on the sack that wasn't a sack for, I think it was Hall also. He should have had another sack.
They called holding.
There's legal hands to the face on Harrison, which it was. It should have been a penalty on Harrison. But JTT got held like a tackled. He beat the man around the end, beat the right tackle around the end, and just straight up got tackled before, because he should have had the sack, and that's what forced Thorne to step up into Hall. And I'm like, how are you not calling that? That's a straight up tackle. Like, he wrapped him around the waist. It was great form. Sign him up.
Yeah. I think it's just waiting for the floodgates to open. I think eventually, they're gonna hit.
About how good this defense is without getting those kind of plays. For our new segment, what are you doing? We all yell at our TV at some point. We throw our bag call brick or something. What are we doing? I'm gonna go with Cam Brown this week, throwing his helmet as he gets benched in the game. I know it's frustrating, and he had a really, really bad game, had a couple of bad penalties, and then he got a horse collar, and it was obvious as hell. Like, I don't know what he was mad about. That was the definition of a horse collar on the kid, and he kind of got him out of bounds with it too. Yeah, these DBs, the corners, not the safeties, they've been fine. Nice pick by Ransom on the playing center field. But the corners, them not turning around looking for the ball, I think it's frustrating them because they're not making plays and they're getting these pass interferences. But I don't know. I don't know if it's something we're going to address. I don't know if we need to because the results overall are good. What do you think?
I've been thinking about that same thing. I mean, if you look at any team across the country, nobody's perfect. They all have some weakness, and you could literally say that is our only weakness is cornerbacks.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think Hickman and Ransom have been great, or safeties in general have been good, but corner is by far the biggest weakness. I hope this bye week and leading up to Iowa with a crappy offense can get them to figure some things out, but at some point you are what you are. You know, like you said before, are the coaches teaching them to not look for the ball and play the man? I hope that's the case.
Yeah, I would say yes. That has to be. If not, man, what are these guys doing?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still not too worried because we don't really. I mean, even Penn State and Michigan aren't elite passing teams. I don't think. So we're really not going to see something that can test us until the playoffs on that side of the ball.
I'm not sure, unless TCU or Tennessee makes it, which seems unlikely. I'm not sure there isn't another elite passing team in the country besides Ohio State, to be honest. Like, that has the kind of talent at receiver and quarterback to actually, like, consistently do what teams like Ohio State does. Like, those teams can do it, at least for the most part. But I don't know if we even see them.
And have a good offensive line to protect our defensive line. It's going to take that perfect team, and I guess Bama might be that team. But we'll see. I mean, Bryce Young's health is – I'm sure he'll be fine by the end of the year, but you just never know. But right now, yeah, I mean, nobody can – I will be interested. It's the bye week next week, but Iowa following. If we can put up 40 points against Iowa, that'll be telling, I think.
Could be, if it's the offense. One thing I'll disagree with, though, I think we have one other weakness, and it's these damn kickoffs going out of bounds like once a game.
Yeah. Oh,
you just
get
rid of the offensive corner.
That's my what are you doing?
Yeah. That's been my what are you doing forever. I've always been a proponent of just kick it out of the back of the end zone. Don't let them have a chance. Don't screw around with these sideline kicks, because then if you put them in the 40, it's a different game.
Even if you can't kick it out the back of the end zone, I'd rather them catch it right in the middle of the field on the 1 or wherever it is than screw around. You don't, even if it's not completely in the corner, if they let that ball bounce, you don't know where the hell it's going to go if it's close to the sideline.
Yeah.
And you see these NFL guys been like learning the new way to do it. If they catch the ball and their foot is touching the outside line, that's technically out of bounds.
Yeah, you do it on purpose now.
Yeah. So I just don't even freaking mess around with it. That's a huge momentum shift. Could be.
Yeah. So then we'll preview next week's opponent by Ohio State, undefeated against by, but also have never beaten them. Tough battle this week. But no, Iowa the week after, though. We'll preview that next week. Not too much more to talk about with this game. Basically, every game. It looked like every game. It kind of looks how you expect it to, exactly how you expect it to every week. But as I always ask you at the end of these podcasts, did your confidence in the Buckeyes National Championships hopes go up, go down, stay the same?
Well, I mean, after last week, I felt like they were as high as they've been, and I guess they even went up more so because I think after the last week, I'd say we're the best team in the country. I mean, Alabama struggled. They didn't have Bryce Young, but their defense didn't look great either. I mean, A&M should have had that game easily if they didn't if they're not just terrible.
Yeah, that fourth down call was horrible that they did.
Oh my God! I'm
I
thinking
think the game, not fourth down, but into the game. Yeah.
this is a 50-50 chance to win against Alabama right now. I mean, it's a 2-point conversion, and you don't even even if that guy catches it, he's not scoring.
You throw a 3-yard out, like, what are you doing?
I don't know. And then even Georgia, I mean, they didn't look great against, looking back a couple weeks, to Kent State, and then they struggled.
Missouri.
Yeah, they had to come back against Missouri, and then last week, the final score is a little. It wasn't completely the whole story of that game. They were tied at halftime, I believe.
Auburn stinks too. Auburn just stinks.
Yeah, Auburn is not good. They ended up winning pretty easily by the final score, but they were struggling in that first half. So, yeah, I think we're clearly. I mean, we have the best offense. All these statistics I have, which I'll go over in the next podcast, but by most metrics, we're right there, top 10 in almost everything, and not any other team can say that.
And most complete team right now. Not many flaws. I'm with you. They've struggled in basically like the 2 of the 3 biggest games they played. Whether or not it's a quarterback or not, it seems like 2015 Ohio State almost, where they had tons of talent coming back, but it's just not quite fitting together right now. And I don't know, like you said, I say before, kind of are what you are at some point in the season, and I think maybe that's them this year, where they're not quite going to get it figured out, and probably until they have that loss, and then maybe it all switches and fixes itself. Who knows though? But it's not just us that thinks it. Vegas now has Ohio State as the favorite to win the championship. I think we're still plus 400, so it's not like heavy favorites at all. But
Fair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, that's all we have for this week. This week's review of the Michigan State game. We're going to have another podcast coming out, though. We're going to do a whole mid-season review of the Buckeyes. Look back at what we predicted, see if that's come true. Do a little deep dive into some stats about how the Buckeyes have performed so far in relation to the rest of the country, and why they are steamrolling towards another national championship we're hoping this year. That's it for me, though. Just Matt, my man here, the Direwolf. Like us, subscribe to us, follow us on Twitter @ViewFromCDEC, and we will see you guys next time.
Hey, guys. Whoa, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
A rich man's world.